Every now and again, we need to detox from people and situations to bring our lives back to balance. To find internal and external peace, we have to let go of toxic people and situations. A job that I had many years ago that I loved became toxic and unhealthy. I was depressed, I was reactive, people I worked with were on my mind during my off hours, and I found myself strategizing ways to navigate their toxicity. It was what we call a hot, flaming mess. It took me a while, but I finally got to a place where I could admit it was time to go. Let's look at how we can recognize when it's time to move on and how to do so with grace, dignity, confidence, and understanding. Welcome to Season 2 of Roar. In Episode 1, Part 1 and 2, we talked about healing, psychological self-healing. With all that's going on in the world, despite our resources, therapists, life coaching, business coaches, executive coaches, it's ultimately us inside ourselves that has to do all the work. We have to heal ourselves. In Season 1, Episode 5, we talked about the power of letting go. We can't begin to self-heal if we are holding on to thoughts, situations, or people that are hurting us. And you can't let go unless you know when to let go. We're going to talk about when to let go, which requires grace, dignity, confidence, and understanding. And if you make it to the end, we're going to give you a checklist about how to recognize unhealthy people or situations. Sometimes recognizing these people and places and things is not as clear as you might think. I call them lions, life challenges, unchanging circumstances. It's more than a metaphor, it's a way of life. Before we get to the recognizing unhealthy people and situations checklist, let's break down grace, dignity, confidence, and understanding. They're keys to knowing when to let go. Grace. Grace comes from being able to accept people and situations as they are and understanding why change is necessary despite the discomfort acceptance may cause. Acknowledge that you cannot be at your best for yourself or others when connected to specific people and situations that are toxic, energy draining, and combative. Accept that the person or situation is no longer in your best interest. Consider the truth that it would be in the best interest of your core values, principles, and life goals to let go. This is hard to do when you're in these situations where there's stuff you need, stuff you've got to be around. Maybe it's your job, your family, your community, people that you love. Sometimes they conflict with your core values, your principles, and you have to decide that that's not in your best interest. This can be tough. Acknowledging an unhealthy environment does not mean you're going to emerge into a world full of rainbows, gumdrops, and bluebirds. Initially, change can be very uncomfortable. Stop waiting for things to improve when patterns have been repeating. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Time and time again, this person or situation has shown you their true identity and the extent of their discontent. What will it take to admit the truth to yourself? We must accept the fact that some people won't change, so you must change your environment. You cannot give to someone else that which does not exist in you. Remind yourself that prioritizing yourself is not selfish. People who love and care for you want to do what's best for you, even if they disagree. Give yourself permission. It's the only permission you need to be your true self. When I gave myself permission to move on from that hateful job, my life changed. Unfortunately, I was out of the frying pan into the fire and found myself in a very similar situation. People are people, and people do people things, and it is annoying that we have to live our lives in the wake of other shenanigans. And so I have faced this in many of my working situations. However, I did get out of that situation. That hateful job is behind me and long gone. Bye, Felicia. Bye-bye. Sorry. I'm so happy. This time, I was able to awaken my confidence. I was able to recognize that's not about me. That's about them. That's about people and their stuff. Quite often, people are throwing their pain on you. And if you don't protect yourself, you'll absorb that pain and take on that pain and live that pain. This time, no. I was very protected. I had a lot of experience in recognizing when people were doing people things. I was able to exist in a space where I was almost immune to shenanigans because I was focusing on the work. I was focusing on my purpose. I was focusing on all the things I talk about in these videos. That's where they come from, my experiences and my training. It is not easy to remain at a state of high emotional intelligence. It takes work and pain and discomfort and frustration and aggravation, depression, anxiety, emotional regulation. It's a lot, and you can do it. I did it. and have done it over and over and over again. And each time I am better and stronger forward. Yes, I'd rather live in a world full of rainbows, gumdrops, and bluebirds. I would, but we don't. We live in this world, and this world can be pretty messed up sometimes. So what are we going to do? Complain about it? Run from it? Hide from it? Fight it? Ignore it? Avoidance? Or lean into it and walk with that lion. I had learned how to navigate toxic people. I knew by experience that the issues were not about me, it was about their unhappiness. I stopped trying to fix things and fix people and fix situations, and I focused on my work. I lived in grace as I accepted the parts of my work that I could not change. It's powerful stuff. Looking back, it's thrilling. It wasn't so fun when I was going through it, but it's thrilling to know that I got through it. If it happens again, I'll be ready. We're going to get to our unhealthy checklist in a minute. Before that, dignity. Dignity is taking accountability for our decisions and actions, which have played a role in being where we are today. Dignity's currency is self-respect. And let's face it, it's hard to respect ourselves when we're not in control of our life. We cannot be in control of our life if we do not take accountability. Accountability allows us to accept ourselves. If we accept who we are, then we can respect ourselves. Respect for myself also means that I hold myself to a standard. There is a threshold at which you must make the ultimate decision about what you allow in terms of energy and treatment from others. As I always say, you must train people around you how to treat you. And you cannot do that without dignity. If you don't, they will treat you how they want to treat you, and they don't always have your best interest at heart. Letting go of blame allows us to let go of people and situations that no longer have a hold over our energy. In my travels, I have encountered some very tricky situations and some very tricky people. The show business. There's a lot of personality, a lot of ego, and a lot of shenanigans. I love it, and it's a lot. There were times I had to stake out my territory and make very clear, directly and aggressively, that there were certain boundaries that were not going to be crossed. Sometimes I did this passionately and loudly, and I crashed and burned. Sometimes I did it quietly and softly, and got trampled. I eventually learned the right mix of when to draw those lines around myself. And each time, whether I failed or succeeded in drawing those boundaries, I said very clearly, enough. And as uncomfortable as it was at times, people learned that there were lines to not cross with me. And it's not my personality. I guess we all could get along and be kind to each other. It's just so much simpler. All this drama. If you come at me with drama, eventually I'm going to come back at you. I never go in the room and say, here's some drama, let's cause some stuff. I never do that. I never ever did that. I really look back at my life and I go, I never did that. And yet I found myself the subject of people's crap. So I learned how to say, enough. Please stop. And most times they did. And when they don't, I just try to move on. This is not easy stuff, people. If it was easy, we would what? Be living in a world with rainbows, gumdrops, and bluebirds. And as you can see, we are not, because it's hard. I mean, it's actually easy, but people don't believe the easiness, and so they make it hard. And the rest of us pay for it. So here we are. I digress. My self-respect was more important than their feelings. Think about that for yourself. Confidence. Confidence is the assurance we give ourselves that we're going to be okay. Disappointments and unknowns are expected to be scary and challenging. They're also possible to overcome. When we realize that we have what we need most, ourselves, we exercise our self-awareness, our self-worth, and value. While having certain people in our lives does make things easier, the self-awareness and understanding of our capability is what makes things possible. When something seems impossible without hope, we won't try. Belief in oneself is where hope emerges, and the impossible is possible. Deep down inside, we know that we are who we need most. Developing this confidence allows us to release people and situations on whom we were once dependent. Life has been quite bumpy since the pandemic, and I keep waiting for my life to settle, and it's still choppy. I could very easily fall into a depression and give up and let pessimism take hold. And at times I've done that. However, experience has given me confidence. I know I will get through, even when it seems like I won't. I understand by playing the movies back in my head of navigating rough times and horrid people that I am resilient. I take lemons and make lemon citron. Where do you think I get the nerve to make these weekly videos? Lemons! Maybe one day I'll tell that story, not tonight. One more before our checklist. Understanding. Understanding is the clarity we gain from viewing life through a framework of mindfulness, honesty, and self-love. Let me say it again. This is gold, my friend. Understanding is the clarity we gain from viewing life through a framework of mindfulness, honesty, and self-love. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Help me build this channel of love and light. And let's shift the balance and outshine the negativity and darkness of the world, because it's pretty dark. But there's light. There is light. Let's shine it together. Here are 6 reasons why letting go is necessary. Your mental and emotional well-being comes first. Holding on to toxic relationships and situations are placing limitations on your life. It catches up to you. Staying in unhealthy situations can cause long-term stress and harm, leading to mental and physical illness. Growth requires change, and sometimes it means walking away. People can try to save you, but only you can heal yourself. See episode 1 for more about becoming a self-healer. Self-love is not a thought, it's an action. Stay active. Let's offload some things that can raise red flags. Yep, you guessed it, it's time for Unhealthy List. Perhaps if you're experiencing quite a few of these signs, then you may need to ask yourself the important question: is it time to let go? These are signs of an unhealthy relationship. Constant negativity. The relationship drains your energy instead of uplifting you. Disrespect and manipulation. You feel disrespected, manipulated, or controlled. Lack of support. The person doesn't encourage you or celebrate your growth. One-sided effort. You're always giving, but they rarely reciprocate. Frequent drama. The relationship is full of unnecessary conflicts and emotional turmoil. Come on, you know what I mean. Guilt and obligation. Your actions are driven by guilt and obligation rather than genuine connection. Walking on eggshells. You're afraid to express yourself honestly. These are signs of an unhealthy situation. Constant stress and anxiety. You feel physically and mentally uncomfortable being in the situation or environment. Stagnation. You feel stuck and unable to fulfill your greatest potential, personally or professionally. Lack of respect. Your boundaries, opinions, or values are constantly ignored, dismissed, challenged, or attacked. Toxic environment. The situation breeds negativity, uncomfortable feelings, physical tension, emotional debilitation, or unfair treatment. Sound familiar? I hope not. If it does, it might be time to let go. As I'm going through these myself, I remember in my past situations, I felt all of them. All of them. I'm not quite sure why I stayed so long, but there are reasons. Money, security, these are real things, and they can make us stay in very uncomfortable situations. So don't be hard on yourself. A lot of people, many, many billions of people are going through this today, right now as we speak. You are not alone. And it may be time for you to take action, put yourself first, and start imagining a life that is free of these barriers and these unnecessary challenges that you shouldn't have to walk with. That's up to you. We're going to get through this. You and me. We're going to get through this, whatever it is. I believe in you. I believe you can. These videos are here to support you, give you ideas to think about and consider. It's ultimately up to you. Be your own self-healer. Walk in grace and dignity and confidence and understanding. Be your own light and remove the crap out of your life. You'll be fine without it. You'll be better for it on the other side of it. You just got to find the courage, find the resources within yourself to do it. Letting go is part of healing. To be a self-healer, we must be willing to go and fail and fall into the abyss and have confidence that we'll survive the darkness and might even be the light for others to follow. And if you take that step, take that leap, you must have courage and loyalty to yourself and not look back. Forward. You keep going forward and walk with those lions. We're going to take this a step further in the next video. We're going to talk about fake love. Ooh. In a world full of falsehoods and fakeness, let's explore fake love. It'll be right here when posted, and the full playlist will be there. Please join me on this journey inside to our deepest and darkest and most beautiful selves. We'll get there together. One planet, one tribe, one world, one love. See you in the next video. This is season 2 of Roar. Thank you for watching. I'll see you there.